right, class, we're going to start a new chapter today. Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is about organizing numbers. The reason that you want to organize numbers is because it helps you to analyze them. You know what analyze or analysis is? That's okay, Max. Analyzing means that you can see things about the numbers. You can look for patterns. You can find the middle, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Or the central tendency, kind of where the numbers are in the middle. All right? We're going to use these mean, median, and mode. Those are ways of finding the middle value. Okay? Well, mode is on the next page. Okay. So don't worry, we'll get to it. The first thing you have to do when you're analyzing numbers is you have to put them in order. And there's different ways to put them in order. One of them is just to list them, least to greatest. One way to put them in order is to use a stem and leaf graph, which we're going to learn about later. And these help us to find the middle. Okay? Then we can analyze the middle by finding the mean, which is another way of another way to say that is the average. Okay, you're probably used to hearing average instead of mean, but the mean amount is the one of the ways to find the middle amount. Okay. Now, to find the mean, you have to add all the numbers. You have to find the total of all the numbers. Okay? So you have to add them all up. Find the sum of the numbers. Then, to find the actual mean, you divide by the number of numbers there are in the set. So if there are 4 numbers that you're adding, you divide by 4. Okay? If there's 11 numbers in the set, then you divide by 11. So look at the first example. On lesson 1, RW47, it gives us an example to practice with. So let's do this one together. The first one gives us a set of 4, 8, 1, and 9. Right? 4, 8, 1, and 9. What do we have to do first in order to analyze the numbers? Put them in order. So you'll have to rewrite them as 1, 4, 8, and 9. Okay? Now, in order to find the mean, we go back to our notes, it says we have to find the total, or the sum, of the numbers. So we have to add them up. This is 5, this is 17. So the total is 22. Then we have to divide by the number of numbers. Divide by 4. And that's 4. And wait, it's what? That's 5. And 2/4, or 5 and 1/2. How would we write that as a decimal? 5.5. So either of these are okay. This one's not okay because we have to put it in lowest terms. So that's the mean, isn't it? We add them all up and divide by the number of numbers in the set. Right? Any questions on the mean? Let's go to the median. The median is another way of finding the middle, or the central tendency. Okay? It's the middle number or the middle amount. It may not be listed. Since in our example, there are 4 numbers. Is there a middle number?
No.
No. Both of these are in the middle, aren't they? So here's what you do when they're both in the middle. You add them up and divide by 2. 4 plus 8 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. 6 is the median. 6 would go right in between them. 6 is exactly in between. So 6 is the median of this set. Notice it's close to 5.5. So that's a middle value of the median. Okay? Now, if it is the number listed, then you would use the number. If it is the middle number, then you would use that number. But if it's not listed, if there's an even number of numbers, then you'll find it by adding the 2 middle numbers and then dividing by 2. It's the mean of the 2 middle numbers. You got that?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the median. How about the mode? Let's talk about the mode. The mode is the number that occurs the most often. You can think of mode and most. They almost rhyme. Okay. Now, there can be more than one mode if there are 2 of a number, or there are 2 of 2 numbers. For example, if we had in our example, if there was 1, 4, 4, 8, 8, 9, there's 2 4s and there's 2 8s. So those would both be modes. Or there could be no mode. When would there be no mode? Yeah, in the example that we did, they all occur only once. So in this case, there is no mode. And that's what you write. No mode. No, don't write no. You could write none next to it. But if it says, if you're not doing a worksheet, then you'd have to write no mode. Because you can't write none, because none doesn't mean anything. Unless you write mode none. But that's actually more than if you write no mode. So I would write no mode. Okay. And then finally the range. The range doesn't help us find the middle, but the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest value. It's the range of numbers. All right? So you'd have to subtract the highest and lowest.
Subtract the highest number? That's 2.
Any questions? So, on the back side, there's a question about finding the missing value. Finding the missing value. In other words, if you've taken 4 math tests, we'll just do 4. You've taken 4 math tests, and then on the 5th one, you want to know what score do I need to get on the 5th one in order to get a B+ in the class. Okay. Well, over on our grading sheet, you need at least a 90% in order to get a B+, right? So, that means, well, let's use this example. Let's say that you've taken 3 tests. In this example, you've taken 3 tests, and you want to know what you will need on your 4th test. Okay, and that's why I did 90% times 4. So what you have to find first is find the total that you need. If you need to get an average or a mean of 90%, that means you'd have to get a mean, you'd have to get 90% basically on 4 tests, right? So what's 90 times 4? 360, right? So that's the total that you need. Then if you're going to get 90% on each one, or an average of 90, what if you haven't gotten 90 on each one? What if you've only gotten 90 on the first one, but then you got 85 on the second one, and 88 on the third one? Then you know you're going to have to score
Higher.
more than 90%, but how much more?
7.
Well,
98%.
so what you need to do, you might be able to do it in your head,
Yeah.
but if you add these up, add up the ones you have. It's the difference in figuring out what you have and what you need. That's what you're finding. If you need 90% as a mean on 4 tests, and you have 90 plus 85 plus 88, how much do you have so far?
Power up. Yay! The power.
Okay, no. We can still record. We'll just have to do the old-fashioned.
Like chicken. I don't have any.
So what's 90 plus, class? Look over here. What's 90 plus 85 plus 88? Come on.
353.
353. This is 13. 10. 16.
No, 26.
So 26. 263, right? 263. And if you need, if you need to get 360, how much more do you need? What would you do to find out?
Oh, we were right.
Garrett?
97.
97. How do you know that based on these numbers? You've earned this much. You've earned 263, and you need 360. How much more do you need? What would you need to do with those 2 numbers?
You would have to minus.
Subtract them, right?
Minus
263, and you need 97. You need 97 more. You'd have to score a 97 on your 4th one. So, again, let's review. When you're finding the missing amount, you have to find, first of all, what you need to score for a total, and what you've scored already, and subtract the difference. Okay? Alright. That should help you to do worksheet 7-1, both sides, for tomorrow.